Good day, everybody. Welcome on my channel, The Road Pirate, Reno. For 2 days, I turned in 70 years young. And I am now at the Backpackers. It's called Kruger Inn in Malaf Park, what it's right next to the Kruger Park National Park in South Africa. I welcome you. And I want to tell you today a bit more about my life. And I done already a few sessions where I was and what I did and the crazy times in the 70s. I go today into the 80s or late 70s. Sometimes I can't remember really, what year it was. Stuff like that. But I still was in East Frisia, in the town of Leer, L-E-E-R, East Friesland, Germany. And I had a beautiful girlfriend, Erika was her name. Sorry, I'm smoking. Erika, yeah, a beautiful girl. And she was loved riding bikes as well. And we were a couple for a few years. And we decided we wanted to do a big adventure tour to Africa, crossing the Sahara. So at that time, everybody would go with a Yamaha XT 500, off-road, dirt road bike. That was the best bike you could get, reliable and stuff like that. And exactly that, I didn't want that. I wanted to do it with a different bike, but never crossed the Sahara. And I decided, crazy idea, I decided to buy two Suzuki 250 two-stroke, unbelievable. And we had a Suzuki dealer in that town, in Leer, Georg, a good friend as well, Georg Falk. So we bought this 250 two-stroke Suzuki, and we made a test ride to Scotland, just to see how it is. We had all the time and we had a bit of money and stuff like that. And they run nicely, ring, 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 there we go. And we had no problems, no issues, so we rode it perfectly in. And we had about, I think, 4,000 or 5,000 kilometers on it. And then we get all the equipment what we need to cross the Sahara, what was 1,680 kilometers without anything. So we made a big frame on it, welding, screwing, and put 20-liter jerry cans on both sides. And all that other gear, what you need for all your equipment. Yeah, and we had the visas for Morocco, Algerian, and to Mali and stuff like that. And one day off we go. So we wanted to go Germany, Belgium, France, Spain, with the ferry over to Morocco. So when we were about 250 k's down the road, my engine broke down and the piston in the cylinder was stuck, And that happens very often with two-stroke, that they get stuck. So I had a spare piston and a cylinder as well. So I changed that on the highway, Autobahn, rest area. And we went further into Belgium. And then my girlfriend, Erika, she had the same problem. The piston gets stuck in the cylinder. what happened now? I mean, we made that test drive and everything was fine. And what happened now? So I decided, or we decided, no, that doesn't work like this. We go back and thought things out what happened with it. So I changed the pistons and the piston and the cylinder at Erika's bike, and we drove back towards home. And it happened again to me. We were very disappointed, very angry. And I rang my cousin up, Hinny Sparringer. Hello, my friend. Yeah, okay. And he came with a trailer and he picked the bikes up and he brought us back to Suzuki, to Georg, to the Suzuki dealer. And I was angry and disappointed, and Erika, of course, as well. You know, she got off work for that and stuff like that. And then, okay, what happened? Georg really didn't know, and I said, I want to talk to Suzuki boss. You know, I want to talk to the boss from Suzuki in Munich, the main factory. The main salesman and stuff like that, and they denied me for a little while, and then somehow through somebody I get the phone number from Suzuki import manager in Munich, and I rang him up in the middle of the night, and he was on the phone. And I said, please, don't hang up, just listen to me. That and that happened, and when you don't help me, I'm coming with both bikes to Munich in front of Suzuki factory on the gate. I put petrol over both bikes and I burn it down, and I ring up all the newspapers for the magazines for motorcycles, like Motorrad and all these ones. There are many in Germany. I ring them all up and they will come and see that disaster, what I'm doing to you. You know, I need help right now because we want to cross the Sahara. The next morning, I get a phone call from Suzuki, and they said, yeah, we sent a mechanic, the professional mechanic from Suzuki, down to East Frisia, to Leer, and he will check the bikes, what happened. So that man came after a few hours. He flew in, and he observed the bikes, he pulled it a bit apart and stuff like that, and he said, Reno, I don't know. I must honestly say, I really 100% don't know, but I guess, because you put the frame on the bike for the jerry cans. So that stabilized the whole frame from the Suzuki and makes it more rigid, you know? And there are vibrations. The bike is vibrating more. And in the carburetor, it's vibrating as well. So there comes fume on the petrol, and the cylinder doesn't get the right mix of petrol, and that's why the piston gets stuck in the cylinder. And you got the wrong bikes. You got the wrong bikes for crossing the Sahara. And I said, yeah, but I wanted to try, you know, doing that with a different bike. And he said, yeah, don't do it with this one. They won't be good there. I will talk to the boss and we will see what we can do for you. The next day I get a phone call. We take the 250 Suzukis back, and 2 new Suzuki 370 4-stroke, 1-cylinder are on the way to your town, and we swap them. We give them to you for free, because we won't support you. So they did. And meanwhile, it took a while to get it all ready. They have to be registered again. We had to test drive again. We have to run them in. They were brand new. And we get them, and Erika didn't have that much of work on time. So I am a free person. I never work for anybody really, you know. So I could do whatever I want. And I had a friend, Günther, I think was his name at that time, and he had. Oh yeah, he ran away from the Bundeswehr, from the German army, because he had to do his 1 year, you know. And he came and he paid Erika the money back what she paid for her bike, and then we both made the frame again for the jerry cans, and so we can take a lot of petrol, and we put a 42-liter petrol tank on it from aluminium, a racing tank, you know. So we had a lot of petrol. We had 120 liters petrol on that bike. Of course, first we could drive without all that petrol and all the weight. Yeah, and we went on the road to Morocco. We slept on the beach in Spain, and wild, you know. And we had oh, the light is back. The power was off. So let me adjust a bit. Sorry. I just want to put that light off. It's disturbing me. So I'm right back. So we slept on the beach, and there was a rat coming, and I feeded the rat, you know, and Günther, he had a knife, and we tried to, he threw the knife at the rat, and I said, don't do that, you know, he doesn't do anything to me. Oh, they are poison and they are whatever, you know, they stink and they are not good animals, and that's bullshit. So I was feeding the rat and everything was fine. So we played around with it. You know, we had a fire going and give him some food, and we had a good time with that rat. In the morning, I got the feeling there is something right in face of me. And I opened my eyes and I had my knife right next to me in the sand, you know, in the sand. So I could grab at any time for danger. And it was a dog, and he got foam, white foam in front of his mouth. I think he had rabies or something, you know, right in face of me. And automatically, I grabbed that knife and stabbed that dog right in the heart, right in the shoulder to the heart. It was too dangerous to get bitten by shit like that, you know. So that's what I did. It's not the animal's fault, but it was about my safety. And yeah, that happens. So we went on and on and on, riding through the Sierra Leone, the high desert in Spain. Went on the ferry to Morocco. And at that time we needed 2 passports. Because Morocco and Algerian, they didn't like each other that much, and Algerian wouldn't put his stamp, entrance stamp, in the passport when there was already a Moroccan stamp in it. It's all bullshit, you know. But that's how it was. And yeah, we get in there, and then we filled up. And then we went into Algerian, and the petrol was like 26 cents a liter. It was for us, it was nothing. We were rich like hell because the dinar, what they had, the currents were nothing, you know. And so we went into the desert, and we went to a oasis, you know, in the desert already, and we had 120-liter petrol, we had 60-liter water. The bikes were 225 kilo overweighted, over what the bike actually can weight in the papers. 226 kilos overweighted. But yeah, we had spare tires, you know, and all the spare parts, chains and stuff like that. Sleeping bag. But there were no much room for food and stuff like that. So, in this oasis, there was a campground, and we were camping there, and we figured out it was a German funeral place, you know, a graveyard. Jesus, yo. And we slept next to the gravestones. Unbelievable. And the owner, I recognized there were many young cats running around everywhere and coming to you and begging for food and stuff like that. And in the night he had a drum with fire, and he got these wooden sticks with meat on it and stuff like that. And we bought that and eat that, and they were very spicy. You couldn't taste what sort of meat it was, you know. And he was standing there, and we paid him some money for the meat, you know, and it was hot. And I asked him, "What meat is this?" And he looked at me and he laughed a bit and he said, "Meow." He said, what do you think, what is running around here? You stupid tourists, you feed my cats, and when they are thick and fat, I slaughtered them, and now you eat them. So we had some cat meat. And then we went to Regane. That was the last oasis, the last little town before you could go into the desert. The Sahara, 1,680 kilometers we had to cover to Goa in Mali. But we wasn't allowed to go alone. We had to be at least 6 vehicles traveling together as a group through the Sahara, and exactly that we didn't want. But we had to do it because the customs, the army people and the safety people, the police and stuff like that, they said, no, you can't go alone, you have to go together. So we done that, and we rode. We were riding the bikes, and the other ones, they were car drivers, mostly with Peugeot and a big truck and MAN truck, stuff, German trucks and stuff like that. And so we were riding half a day with them, and then we said, listen, boys, we want a real adventure. We don't want to go compare with cars and trucks. You know, you are too slow. We ride our own. And they said, no, you can't do that. That's too dangerous, and we are not allowed to do that. And I said, I don't care what it's allowed or what not, but we want our own adventure, and we are not sharing this trip with you guys. So goodbye, have good luck. Maybe we see each other sometime, somewhere on the road. So we went into the desert. First time in my life I saw the desert. The nights, they were magic, beautiful. You could, the sky, the heaven was so close to earth, you think. You could grab the stars, and they were colorful, you know. They were blue and whitish and reddish, and you could see the universe. You really could see it. It was very close. It was touching. And so we traveled on. Sometimes you got real rough terrain. You know, the desert is not only the sand, there are rocks, there are stones, and there are ridges, and there are formations of stones. They were so sharp, like as a knife. So you really had to put lots of pressure on the tires, otherwise they get slid open and stuff like that. So it was a very dangerous thing. And then one day, a black stone bottom, on the bottom, you know, in the desert, a black stone appeared. It was shining black, deepest black you could think of. It was polished by the wind and the sand. It was polished. You were thinking you were riding on slippery ice, black ice. That's how it looks like, but it wasn't slippery. But you could put an egg on it. It was so hot it would just fry. I had a temperature gauge on my tank. I made some photos. It was 76 degrees Celsius on that tank, hot. I was scared. I got silver foil on my helmet and on the tanks, on the jerry cans, on the petrol tank as well, so to reflect. I was scared that whole thing blows up, you know. We had frost in the night, -4. The next day we had, in between 20 minutes, from -4 we had already 20 degrees Celsius. Half an hour more we got 30, and then it went up 40, over 50. It was amazing hot. It was so hot. Oh yes, but okay. So then you get some loose sand. We call it bull dust. You could grab it in your hand, and the sand would flow like water through your hands. You couldn't hold the sand. It was so fine. And yeah, you could ride from bidon to bidon. On the horizon, you see a little point directly south. We had a compass, but you could see a little barrel, a little point, and that was a barrel full of sand. So it was standing there giving you the direction. You were riding to that point, getting south, and then you know you are on the right way. It was the Tannis roof piste. It is French, I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, so we were riding there, and no matter when 5 o'clock you have to stop, because half an hour it's dark. You know, 6 o'clock it's dark, pitch dark. So you just stop, put your sleeping bag on the ground, eat something, and you go to sleep. Simple as that. You can't go nowhere to find a place to sleep or something, you know. No, you just stay there where you are. And in the middle of the night, I feel while I'm sleeping, the earth is moving. And my friend Gunther as well, you know, we were feeling the earth is moving, and Gunther woke up and he said, Reno, here's an earthquake coming. And I opened my eyes and I opened my ears more, and I said, no man, this is the bloody truck. And the truck came without lights. They had no lights, running 20, driving that big truck 20 meters from where we sleep. They couldn't see us. It was dark. There were no full moon or something, you know, and they just passed by. That night, I tell you what, we didn't sleep anymore. We just were sitting there and waiting for the next truck to come or something, you know. They are the local people. They know, they drive at night because it's nice and cool, and they know their way without lights. They know where to go. So that's a very dangerous situation, just sleeping somewhere, you know, but you can't do anything about it, you know. And we didn't have wood enough to make a fire the whole night and stuff like that, you know. Today you was solar and the light will shine and blah blah blah, but at that time, no, we didn't have things like that. It was quite dangerous. And yeah, so this black stone, by the way, it was 260 kilometers on that pure black stone, riding on that stone, and the heat, what was reflected from the sun, it was unbelievable. We think we were starting boiling, eh? It's that hot. It was so hot. Yeah. Then one night, yeah, you have to make a shit, you know. It's a simple thing. So you walk away a few 10 meters, 15 meters. You got your toilet paper. You dig a little hole with by hand. You put your pants down and you sit there and have a shit. So it was already getting dark, and I was sitting there, my pants down and pressing, and the toad came out of my arsehole, and suddenly around me, brr, 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 brr. And I thought, what the fuck is that? That were the Mistkäfer in German. you see them in Africa everywhere. You know, they roll from the elephants and other animals, they roll the shit up and they bring it to they live in the ground. They bring it in there in the ground and they put the eggs in, and the maggots, the babies, they can eat that shit later on, you know, Mistkäfer. I don't know, shit bugs to translate it. So they were hanging already on that toe what was still in my asshole and pulling. And Gunther, and I said, Gunther, come here and see what happened. What happened? And he said, oh, they are scorpions. And I said, no, bullshit, they are not scorpions. No, they are this beetles. The shit beetles, you know? They collect the shit. It's straight away, they take care of it. In the middle of the desert, I don't know how to, and I followed them. They were rolling and taking my shit to that hole, and it was a big, like a funnel. You know, it was like this, going down to a hole like that. And they disappeared in there, and they brought the shit, but that's where they live from. You know, they put the eggs in it and stuff like that, so they can produce new life. It was amazing how nature takes care of everything, you know. So we went on, and it took us 7 days only, because we like to ride, and there were areas that was, you could see the tour wreck on the camels, and they stopped at us and they said where you going and where you come from, and they could a bit of English, and my friend Gunther, he could a bit of French. So we could a bit communicate, and he came on and he said, oh, I have pain, I have a headache, have you please give me medicine, you know. And Gunther, he wanted to give him some painkillers, and I said, no, Gunther, don't do that. We don't know what the reaction with him when we give him some painkillers, you know. So rather we give him some peppermint, just peppermint. So we gave him the peppermint, and they said, yeah, you have to put it in your mouth and you have to chew it slowly and drink a bit water. And he got them in his mouth, and it's already getting better, you know. So he believed they were painkillers, but they just were peppermint, nothing else, you know. So that was safe for us and for him as well. Yeah, that was that. And then one day a Peugeot car was standing there with local people, and I don't understand that, you know, when it's 56 degrees Celsius, they all got a hat on and they got a beanie on or whatever, and stuff like that, and they stopped us and they said, please help us, the car doesn't want to run. And Gunther, he said, no, we have to go on, and we want to go further. And that guy, he grabbed under his coat and he pointed the revolver at him, and he said, no, please help us. And I said, Gunther, why are you causing this situation? We have got time enough, we can help them. So we checked the car and the carburetor and the air filter. It was full of sand, everything was dirty and full of sand. So we pulled them apart, we repaired them, and the car started again. They were shooting, they had rifles and guns, they were shooting and dancing, they were happy, and they said, now you are invited, and we make some bread for us, and you get some food. We got goat meat, and we baked some bread. And I saw the first time how they make the bread. Hey, it's unbelievable. They don't need a pan or anything. They got flour and water, and that's it. An egg or two, and goat milk. And they mixed it, and they put it in, they make a little hole in the sand. And they threw the liquid in there, put sand over it, make a fire over it, and just wait. And we drank peppermint tea. Sweet peppermint tea. And we waited for an hour or, I don't know, 45 minutes. and the fire went low again, and he puts the fire away, he puts the sand away, and there are the warm, hot bread. He took it out with his hands, he flipped it a few times, the sand corns are gone, perfect bread. Lekker, lekker, lekker. Yeah, it was good. It was fantastic experience, and they were so friendly, you know. And yeah, so they let us go, and we drive further to the border crossing. There was an army post from Algerian into Mali, and you had to go to there because the mountain ridges built a valley, and that valley was blocked by the army, so you had to go through there to pass on into Mali. And there was a control station, and we had to go in a tent. It was terrible hot. We went in there, we showed the papers, and that guy wanted, yeah, give me some cash and stuff like that. And we said, no, we don't have any money on us, no cash. And he said, yeah, you lying, and go back in the desert, I don't let you through. So we went back in the desert, we sat there for a while, half a day, and then we could see there was a change with people in the cars and stuff like that. So we went again, and there was a new guy, and he was quite friendly. And yeah, we get our stamps and shit. So we went through, and he said, you have to go to the army place and show your bike. They want to see the bike. And yeah, I had to undo my bike completely. I had to strip everything off, and he went through my dirty underwear, and he went through everything, and so I gave him, you know, you have to give him some gifts, you know. At that time it still was a pen, a lighter, stuff like that. And certainly a creature, a person, a human, without legs. He didn't have legs, so that guy was walking on his hands, and it was a mess. He stunk like hell. He was so dirty, it was unbelievable. You hardly could see his face, full hair and full dirt and dust, and the clothes, that was not clothes, it was just junk shit, you know. And he put his hand up in front of me, and he was begging. And I was just ready to give him something, you know, to eat, money, or whatever, so he can buy him some bread or something. And the soldier, he took his rifle off, and the shaft, what it's here normally, he took the shaft and hit that guy full in the head. He killed him with one hit. The skull broke open, the brain was splitting on my leg. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I couldn't do anything about it, man. I had to be calm, otherwise we would go to jail. You know, we wasn't allowed to make photos and anything. There were no proof of his doing. And then they would take our camera stuff, and they would put us in jail, or for how long, I don't know. So it was a bad, very bad experience. It was not nice. It was the worst experience till then in my life. So we went on. Yeah, we went on to Niger, the Niger River. I had my first bath after 6 weeks in Africa. And people told me, don't go in there, because they are the tiny little worms, creatures. They go into your penis, and you get sickness, river sickness. You get blind. They blind you somehow. You know, they go through your body and onto your eyes, and they blind you. So, but I needed water around me, so I gave a shit, and I went in there, and yeah. Everything is fine till today. There was a tree in the middle of nowhere. It was only desert, and there was just one tree, one small tree with shade. And under this tree there was one man sitting there in the shade with his little belongings. So I automatically you ride to there, and I asked him, "Can I sit here?" And he invited me. He said, please, come and sit. I will serve you. Sit in my shade." So what he actually did, he offered me his shade. There was not much shade, so he was sitting in the sun. He gave me that shade. It was a wonderful experience. And he gave me some water to drink and stuff like that. And he had a datteln, whatever in English, some fruit from the tree, you know, the fatty things. He was treating me like as a king. And some other people came there and they wanted, he threw stones at them. He was chasing them away. He didn't want them. "This is my shade," he said, "this is mine. And you get my shade, nobody else." So of course I gave him stuff for that. I paid him for it, you know. I could sleep there for a few hours to have a rest. Meanwhile, my companion Gunther and I, we didn't understand each other very good anymore. You know, he had different ideas than I had, and we split up in freedom without a fight or anything. You know, that it's very important to have your own gear, because when you have to split up, nobody has to depend on the other one. So we split it up, and he went his way and I was mine. And I went to, near me, the town in Niger. I went to Nigeria. I tell you what, that's a place, eh? I had 1,600 kilometers dirt road. Like that, everywhere, just everywhere. My shockeys, I bought good shockeys, you know, good ones, expensive ones, at that time when I started. They were leaking, they were bleeding, they were done. One broke completely apart. I put fiberglass around it and made it hard so it didn't. My frame broke. I put fiberglass around and some steel pieces. Yeah, the bike was pretty worn out, you know. It was a new bike, but when I was in Algeria, the roads, they were so bad. But I was invited, and when I stopped near a village and I see 30 kids running to me, skinny bones and just skinny, and they all put their hands up and want some food, because they had these big bellies, you know, from, I don't know what it is, but it's when you don't have food, something happens to your stomach. It were not looking very nice, and they were not healthy at all, and they were hungry, you know. And when I had a piece of bread, it was full of dust and it was hard like as a rock. They took it off me and they were fighting about it. How can I feed 30 kids, you know? I don't have that much food on my... So I went in the village and I gave the oldest a bit of money, but they keep it for themselves, you know. They can't really... The kids, I felt very, very sorry. And near me, town, yeah, I was in a lodge, bed and breakfast. Backpackers we didn't have at that time over there. And one night I just wandering, walking through a park to see the beauty, plants and animals and lizards and stuff like that, and birds. And a group of young people, yeah, very young people, up to 14, but the youngest, I think it was 6 or 7, you know. It was a little gang. They came to me, "Oh, you got all these tattoos," and they saw my tattoos, you know, and everybody, "Oh, can I touch it?" And they were around, they just were everywhere, and "Oh, we love you, and you are so beautiful," and and everything, and then they were gone, and my bag as well. I had my bag around, my shoulder on the side with my goodies, with my passport and my money and compass and knife I was in there and all little things, and it was gone. I didn't recognize they cut the string. I did not recognize because there were so many and they were all talking to me, and it was the first time till now, the only time where I was robbed. And I was young and unexperienced, so I went crying and to the German embassy, and I made a report, and they said, yeah, you have to go to the police station and tell them and bring the papers, so then we can supply you a ticket to go home. So I went to the police. They were not really friendly, but they said, they made a report, they gave me the paper, they knew exactly what to do, and they said, come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And I said, why I should come back tomorrow at 10 o'clock? He said, come back tomorrow. So, okay, then I did. Next morning, I was waiting, and he invited me to his office, and on that desk, there were my passport, my plane ticket, everything was there, without the cash and the value, the compass, the knife, some lighters, cigarettes, whatever. That was gone, but he knew the young people. I can't not even be angry with them because I was so stupid that I let steal my things, and the young people, they were so honest that they threw at night the passport and the papers over the fence to the police. So that's why the police, he got that experience, so that's why he could give me my papers back. I mean, but humility, human, the young people, they knew exactly I get in shit when I don't have my papers, but they just stole the things they needed, and that's okay for me, because I was too stupid. And then, I decided, after this big adventure, I decided to fly home. And I got my bike in the plane to Algeria, and then from Algiers to Paris. And in the big plane, the stewardess came to me, and she brought me a tray with deodorant and papers, what smells nicely, so please clean yourself a bit, sir. You are smelling, and the neighbors on the plane, they don't like it. So I was a bit worn out and a bit down in my brain as well, I must say. It was a harsh case, and I wasn't prepared for the poorness, for the awful things I saw, And I went to Paris and got my bike and went in the cold, riding home. And I had a long time problems with that, seeing dying people, dying kids, get robbed, and seeing that man killing, pushing the skull, breaking the skull, and killed him. I had a big problem, but later on I went again. When I was over it, I said to myself, you have to go again and see it again, but from a different point of view. So today it's not a problem for me anymore, I'm quite happy in Africa, and I make great experience, and I love you people being with me. Thank you very much for watching this story, and I got a lot more, and I will tell you more. I think now it's enough, and God bless you all. Give me a like. Tell your friends. Get a new subscribers for me, please. I need that channel to make a bit petrol money. You know what I mean, you know. And, thank you so much and have a good day. Bye bye.